Welcome once again to the Dr. Sky Experience, proudly heard here on Talk Radio 77 WABC. We like to call it the crown jewel of radio, heard in 173 countries and all 50 states. Beaming out of New York City, the nation, the world, and I'm sure well out into the cosmos. And here on Red Apple Audio Network and proudly on WABCRadio.com. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays as we move into the first of a number of updates. Your Sky Update here on the Dr. Sky Experience for the early portion of December 2024. What an amazing month it'll be, and wishing you and yours the best of health and happiness as we move into this last month of 2024. We begin with Earth's nearest neighbor, the moon. Have you ever heard the term a black moon? Certainly nothing to do with the post-Thanksgiving celebrations of Black Friday. But being more specific, an astrological term called a black moon is sometimes defined in that world, and maybe in astronomy, as the second new moon of a calendar month. That leads us to the fact that in December, there are two new moons. The first one occurred on December the 1st, and the next one will occur on the 30th. What's the big deal about a black moon? It's truly invisible, so why mention it? But the only time that you can actually see a, quote, black moon is during the phases of a partial or total solar eclipse. And you know how you have to protect your eyes. The moon then continues to wax in our skies, and it moves past the planet Venus on the 5th. It moves obviously close to the planet Saturn on the evening of the 8th, and first quarter moon on the 8th of December. The moon is closest to us for this particular month on the 12th. That indeed sets us up for the next beautiful full moon that occurs on the morning of the 15th. This we call the full long night or full cold moon as we move toward the end of 2024. After that, naturally, the moon wanes last quarter on the 22nd, rising around midnight and high into the southern sky as dawn approaches. And let's not forget the beginning of a whole new season as we welcome in the December solstice, the beginning of winter, as we move toward the time of December the 21st. But what about planets? The Greek word planeteos, meaning wandering stars. And we begin proudly into the southwest just after sunset. If you'd like any kind of a recollection of what that beautiful Christmas star, the Star of Bethlehem, might have been, we look into the skies in the southwest in December and see Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. So bright now that many people who talk to us here on the Dr. Sky Experience and email us at drskyshow@gmail.com, they say that's almost like a blinding headlight, and it basically wipes out some of the fainter stars in the sky. Venus will reach its greatest elongation to the left of the sun as we move into January, a beautiful planet about some 78 million miles away from us right now in our skies. And then we continue to move to the left through the zodiac. Venus, of course, in Capricorn, the sea goat. The planet Saturn still visible high in the south at sunset in the constellation Aquarius. In a telescope, its rings are nearly edge-on, and the maximum of edge-on rings occurs around March of 2025. But the real showstopper for planets is Jupiter. The mighty Jupiter, the god of gods in the ancient world, Zeus. Jupiter reaches opposition, meaning it's best seen throughout the entire year, on the evening of December the 7th. If now you've looked into the northeast sky after sunset and noticed a big bright white object, that is the planet Jupiter, an amazing sight in a pair of binoculars where you can actually still see some of those Galilean moons, and then, of course, in a telescope, some really outstanding object to see, with the moons as they move back in a never-ending dance and symphony as they move in front of Jupiter and get eclipsed. And that information, you can find out more about the actual visibility of the moons of Jupiter by going to a site called shallowskyjupiter.com, or visit us at our flagship website that we recommend, theskylive.com. And if Jupiter's not impressive enough for you, we can see the planet Mars, getting closer to us, reaching a close distance of over 57 million miles as we move into January. You can see it by looking into the northeast sky by about 10 p.m. And for those of you in the audience of the Dr. Sky Experience that have a small telescope, you should be able to see the northern polar cap among some dusky features on the surface of Mars. Naturally, higher power and larger aperture telescopes will give you some incredible views of the planet that many say will be mankind's next destination beyond that of landing humans once again on the moon. A fantastic month. But what about some other intriguing things to watch? Don't forget, the Geminid meteor shower, ranked by many as one of the best meteor showers of the entire year, occurs at maximum on the evening of December the 13th into the morning of the 14th. Where do you look? Look high into the sky as the sun sets, and starting about maybe 8 p.m. in the constellation of Gemini the Twins, the namesake for Geminids, you may get to see a few fast or even slow-moving meteors, some as bright as fireballs. But the only detractor this year, being honest with everybody always here on the Dr. Sky Experience, is the rapidly brightening moon. But in many years, I've been observing the Geminid meteor shower for over 40 years, and I can tell you, even in moonlit skies, you may get to see a number of these incredible so-called shooting stars, all debris from comets. And that is quite interesting as we wrap up the year. And also, as we mentioned before, some other interesting things to see. If you missed the planet Mercury in the evening sky, look once again into the early morning sky by the end of the month of December. Christmas Day would be a good day, because Mercury will be at its greatest western elongation, meaning it rises before the sun, some 22 degrees ahead of the rising sun. As I mentioned before, our email, if you'd like to send me emails with questions or comments, and we appreciate the great comments here on the Dr. Sky Experience, heard proudly here on Talk Radio 77 WABC. The email is simply drskyshow, drskyshow @gmail.com. And many thanks to owner-operator John Katzimatidis and his family for having me part of his weekly radio show on Sundays, The Cats Roundtable, with great guests from all the different realms, from politics and, of course, what we talk, science and technology, and also great interviews, as you tell us, on the Dr. Sky Experience, not only from the realms of astronomy, space, aviation, and weather, but also about American exceptionalism, truth, justice, and the American way. A great component and a good fit for this particular radio station with its great content and great hosts. And then finally, a shout out to Frank Morano, the host of the popular radio show The Other Side of Midnight, every other Wednesday at 1 a.m., that is Eastern Time. We then changed the show's name with his permission, albeit for the hour, to Cosmic Conversations with me, Dr. Sky. And many of the comments that we've heard from you, the listening audience out there, are fantastic. A break and reprieve from the politics of the day to open and expand our minds about the great things that go on above our heads while keeping our feet on the ground. Once again, I'm Dr. Sky of the Dr. Sky Experience here on Talk Radio 77 WABC, the crown jewel of radio, heard in 173 countries in all 50 states, beaming out of New York City, the nation, the world, and I'm sure out into the cosmos. Now it's your turn to leave your questions or comments by emailing me. Health and happiness and a great holiday season for Christmas, Hanukkah, and other holidays as we welcome in a brand new and positive thought for 2025. We'll see you in our next update as we talk about the mid-December to the end of the month of December in just a few moments.